Welcome back to Weather Nation. We are taking a look at South Bend, Indiana, where they've just had a few rain showers and a couple of rumbles move through, and also Omaha, Nebraska. You all had storms about an hour or so ago, but now a lot of that activity has moved east, but your storm chances are still around, and the same goes for South Bend for today. But thanks for tuning in. I'm meteorologist Marcus Walter here with your forecast. And again, we're taking a look at these two locations because storm chances are in the forecast for them for today and over the next few days. And areas farther north than, let's say, South Bend and Omaha, you'll likely be dealing with cooler weather, while areas farther south, you'll be dealing with warmer and more humid weather and potentially more storm activity. But let's take a look at what's happening on the radar, because we see some lightning and some thunder firing up over the last few hours across Nebraska, and we see a lot of the energy that passed through Omaha today now moving through Iowa, and also some thunderstorms moving into parts and through the Kansas City area. And we're also looking at a little bit of mountain snow across parts of western Montana and also into western parts of Wyoming. But as we take a closer look, we're looking at Kansas City and areas east. You all were just recently dealing with some rain showers and some thunderstorms across much of Iowa, now through Waterloo and Cedar Rapids and eventually Davenport. We're talking about rain showers and a few storms moving across your region. And as we take a closer look, Mason City, you got a good dose of rain. Ottawa, you got a good dose of rain as well. And Dubuque, now you're starting to see moisture move through your region, and more of that's on the way. We're also keeping an eye on some frozen precipitation that's now showing up on the radar across central parts of Wisconsin, so south and west of Wausau. But Eau Claire, you're likely dealing with that. So along with heavy rain and some cooler conditions across these areas, we're dealing with a little bit of frozen precipitation. Chicago, you're dealing with off and on showers. We had a few move through, but now most of that energy is moving through southern Wisconsin, and now a lot of that energy is also moving into parts of Michigan and Indiana. Now, when we take a wider view, we initially, earlier today, we had a marginal risk in place across parts of Ohio, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania. That has now been taken off the map, but we're still dealing with severe weather concerns across parts of the High Plains and also into parts of Texas and Oklahoma. And as we track the forecast, you'll see rain chances right around this boundary and north of this boundary. And we also see a lot of activity to the north and west of the larger storm system at the surface. As we head throughout the day today, in particular 4 p.m. and 5 p.m., we will really start to see showers and storms developing across parts of the High Plains. We'll see that happening across parts of Oklahoma and Texas, and potentially we'll see that happening near places like Detroit and western parts of New York. And if not severe weather, we're definitely dealing with wet weather. So cities to be on the lookout for: Cheyenne, we're talking about rain and storms for you out there for today. But tomorrow you'll be cooler and things do start to quiet down. As we look toward Pittsburgh, we are dealing still with warm conditions out there, or at least comfortable conditions, temperatures in the upper 60s near 70 degrees. With that warm front nearby, though, that boundary, we could see some showers and storms developing, so we're watching out for that later on in the afternoon. At this point, nothing severe, but still storms in the forecast. But severe weather definitely around as we head toward tomorrow. And it also means impacts for places like Cleveland, Ohio. Take a look at Cleveland. At the moment, you're dealing with a few clouds to your north, but overall, it is not too bad out there across our region. We're dealing with overall comfortable conditions, and we're dealing with improving weather for you. So today, don't worry too much about anything, but again, tomorrow we're talking about storms taking over. And as we look at the setup, we have a warm front, or a stationary front, that will be in place from Kansas into central Illinois, into central parts of Ohio, and right around this boundary and below it, we'll have a lot of energy. We like to call this CAPE, or convective available potential energy, and a lot of that will be in place, and that'll lead to at least ingredients for storms to develop. And so when we look at the map for Saturday, we have that slight risk in place from Illinois through Indiana, through Ohio, all the way toward the East Coast. And in these areas, we're expecting scattered severe storms. Now, the reason why we have the storms again, we have a lot of heat and humidity to the south. We have this boundary here, and this boundary will serve as a lifting mechanism to get the air rising in the atmosphere. And as that air rises, as we head through Saturday, we'll start to see rain. We'll start to see storms developing. And again, some of those storms could be severe. And as we look towards Sunday, we keep some of those same storm chances out there across parts of Indiana, southern Ohio, into parts of Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, and once again across Wyoming and northern parts of Colorado. It'll be a stormy weekend for a lot of folks across the U.S. We'll tell you more throughout the day, but as always, you can watch us right here, or you can check us out on Amazon Fire TV or Roku. We'll be back talking more about your weather. Stay tuned.